Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you're watching. Thank you for tuning in to episode 3 of Bridging the Gap. I'm your host, Council Glenn.
Hey, William V. Thompson.
Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you checked out lesson 1 and 2 prior to this lesson. They'll be great if you check them out in order, consecutive order. Is that the word?
That's the right word. Your wife trained you well. Good job. Good job, CC.
So, we want to do a quick recap of what we talked about last week?
Oh, we can, okay. Here we go. The first lesson we talked about, we met with you guys, we talked about what is cash flow and how to build it. And there we really emphasized the importance of using cash flow because it's the rocket fuel to build wealth. Then we came back in segment 2, we talked about the power of cash flow. What is it? We gave you a practical definition of what cash flow was. We talked about as your inflows simply, minus your outflows, the difference being cash flow. And then last week we simply talked about Fab 5 to create cash flow. In other words, today, I apologize. Today, we're going to talk about the 5 basic things that you can do to build cash flow. Now, when you and I were getting ready for this, you said something, I was like, what? And remember, we're talking about bridging the gap, old school, new school. And he said to me, Thompson, he says, millennials aren't excited about debt or learning how to create about $1,000 a month. Help me understand why debts, and again, you got to hear it out now, but I wanted you to hear the answer before we do it. But how in the world can millennials, with all this student loan debt they have and concerned about their jobs, why wouldn't debts or ideas to create $1,000 a month in, let's say, 6 months, not get millennials happy? I'm going to take some notes on this one.
I think it's not sexy.
Okay. I mean, my wife's sexy to me, your wife's sexy to me. So talk about sex and money. What is that?
We think about it like, just look at what we see on a daily basis. Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
You see a lot of people who are hitting home runs.
I got you. Okay.
Closing bigger deals, making thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Driving nice cars, going on nice trips. So going through debt elimination, expense reduction, that is necessary.
Yeah,
but it's just not as sexy as, look, I just flipped this house, or I just did this on the stock market. My stock doubled in 3 months.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't know. It's not unfortunately, I think social media has done us a disservice where we show a lot of people's victories and not the process to get to those victories.
Said, yeah.
And it also doesn't show any of the lessons, I don't call them failures, the lessons learned to get to those points. It's a highlight reel. And unfortunately, we think that highlight reel is real life. And we don't realize that some of those individuals have done this exact same process, formal or informal, to get to where they are.
See why I need this dude? Because and that makes sense. Because I'm not on social media that much, but you are right. Everything on social media is a lot of old school term bling bling. It's all about, like saying, flipping the big deals. But like you said before, the story behind the success is the things that we're building up to. And within time, we're going to get to the big money, but we have to lay a foundation, and it starts with creating cash flow.
Absolutely. So we can hop right into it.
Okay.
So the Fab 5 to create cash flow fast. When you say fast, how quick?
I'm going to say, I think within 6 months, the average person could have $1,000 a month positive cash flow. But I believe within the first week, the average person could probably get $200 to $300 this week.
Okay.
And the first $500 is going to be really fast. I'll say 30 days. But probably the next 4 or 5 months, it's going to take a little while to get the other 500. But remember, it's $1,000 tax-free, a type of residual income. Go get it.
Yes, sir. Let's hop right into it. So the first part of the Fab 5 is the debt elimination, correct?
You got it. You got it. And guys, if you're taking notes, and we hope you are, that you put down vertically. I guess I'm saying right here, vertically, because my vertical jump wasn't too big, so I can be able to get vertical. but write down the word debts with an S, D-E-B-T-S, debts. I want you to do that vertically. The first thing, Council, is we have to remember that money is nothing but ideas. And we're giving people some low-level ideas on creating money, creating cash flow.
Okay.
It starts with debt elimination. Now, if you're like me, I have debt, and I think you and Cece have debt also. And debt's not a terrible thing and we'll talk about how to use debt for your good. But let's just say that the Thompsons or the Glens have $3,000 in debt. You know, that could be our mortgage, that could be student loans, a car payment, credit cards, etc. Let's say it's $3,000 a month. And if we begin to attack one at a time, and any and all extra money we get from overtime to maybe selling a contract in real estate to making a little money in the stock market or doing whatever, we use it to attack that one debt. And let's say that one debt is a car note. And let's say that car note is $5,000, but it's a $400 payment. If we really could get our hands on some extra money and attack that car payment, in about maybe 6 or 7 months, we could have that car payment eliminated. And you're talking about that's $400 I created by eliminating debt. So I get 4 from the car, then maybe the student loan is $200. I take all my extra money, I attack the student loan, that may be $200. So you simply gradually go through and attack one at a time, and every time you eliminate a debt, you're not debt free yet, but every time you eliminate a debt, what have you done? You've created tax-free positive cash flow. It ain't sexy, but it's money.
But what about my friends that are going to Dubai and Jamaica and traveling and buying a new PlayStation 5 that just came out?
And you say I would do that. What I'd add a twist. I'd add a twist of a reward system.
Okay.
Meaning that let's go back to the car note. We paid the car note off. We got $400 a month positive cash flow. We may say, CC, in my case, Joy, every time we pay a debt off, let's take the next month and give to us.
Got it.
What does the PlayStation run? I don't know.
$500.
Okay, so pay the car off. You got $400. Squeeze another 100 out and go buy yourself that PlayStation.
Okay.
You need to have a reward system because again, old school, we're thinking long term. New school thinks immediate gratification, and that's why we call this bridging the gap. Because my way is not the best way. His way is not the best way. But when we bridge the gap and have a mixture of both, we have the best way for anybody to build generational wealth.
Got it. So yeah, that makes sense because I mean, debt elimination, that's no part-time job.
Right, man.
You know, you're not donating blood or anything like that, plasma.
No.
It's free money.
It really is, man.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
And they're going to learn later on, I'm not sure what lesson, but how we're going to show them how to begin to use that debt to build wealth. Because the principle simply is when debt becomes an investment, wealth is created. Your debt is keeping you from building generational wealth or keeping you enslaved to your job. Because if you had no debt, Council, what couldn't you do with no debt?
Man.
You get the message.
Yeah.
You get the message. That's true, man. That's true.
Got it. So that's number 1 in the Fab 5 is debt elimination.
Okay.
Number 2.
It's expenses. Again, it ain't sexy, but it's money. For years back when I was your age or even younger, we would always teach a simple principle called the 10-10 principle. It's boring to me, but we tell people, look at all your expenses. Now remember, debt is something that has an outstanding balance. A car, IRS bill, credit card. Expenses are ongoing things like your gasoline for the car, your life insurance, your food, etc. And we tell people, for starters, boring, not sexy, look at 10 ways you spend money. And when you look at those 10 ways, you want to ask yourself 3 basic questions. How can I reduce it? How can I eliminate it? And or how can I make it tax deductible? So if my current expenses are $2,000 a month, a water bill, light bill, cell, telephone, etc. I want to get it from $2,000, let's say down to $1,800. And here's the key thing, without cutting the quality of life. We want you to go and eat out, but maybe only 70% of what you used to. We want you to have, what's a lot of online, these streaming services now? What are they?
Oh man, Sling, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime.
The only one I got is Netflix. That's all I got, guys. But the point is, though, we may ask you, look at those 5 or 6, and maybe cut those in half, possibly. Again, we don't want you to affect the quality of life. So if you go from $2,000 a month expenses to maybe $1,700 without cutting the quality of life substantially, You just created $300 a month because you better manage your expenses. So now my debt was 4. My expenses are 3. If I do the math, count my fingers, all right. Guys, that's $700 a month. Again, take a month, bank it, and let it be a deposit to go to Dubai or wherever you want to go in the summer months. Again,
Gotcha.
because we want you to enjoy life.
Yeah, we actually just did this for the month of October. Outside of both of the boys' birthdays, we stopped eating out.
Okay.
Saved
Whoa.
that extra $250. Probably could have saved more.
What'd you do with it?
Put it in savings.
Good deal.
On top of what we already saved, but that it's a real number. Like
That's good.
we were eating out way too much.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we just, for the whole month outside of their birthday, let's cut eating out.
That's great.
And cook at home.
That's good. That's good.
So-
Did you help out any?
Yeah. I've become a master of the slow cooker.
So look at you. What you can slow cook.
So yesterday, actually, I made some chicken. Where I had some red potatoes, some carrots, cut a little mushrooms up, some onions. I had something else. Oh, some drained tomatoes in it.
Look
It's
at
pretty
you.
good. I sent a picture to my mom. She was impressed.
I bet your boys were excited to see you cook, wasn't they?
No,
They're not okay. Did they eat it?
yeah, they did. They're real selective on what
I
they
got you.
like. So
That's good.
when
That's
you
good.
introduce something new, you might hear some complaints.
I got you. But a quick point before we move on. And that's why we love bridging the gap. Because see, in my generation, everything was long term. Everything was you work and then you get to 65, get a gold watch, retire, get Social Security. Millennial generation says, I want it right now.
Yeah,
But again, if we can find a medium, because our ultimate goal, what are you,
6.
36? Our ultimate goal, and just arbitrary number, is to get people within 5 years or left to be able to retire. 5 years or less. Now, I know if you're 61 like I am, that's 66. But you're still retired. If you're 45, that's 50. If you're 36, it's 41. So we're trying to bridge the gap in giving you old school, new school, where within 5 years or less, you can be free to do what you want to do when you want to do it.
And one of the best things I've learned is retirement is not an age.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
It's not an age. It's a matter of cash flow.
It is, brother, bottom line, and never forget that.
Yep. So we got number 1, debt elimination. Number 2, expense reduction. The third of the 5, business development is probably my favorite one.
Yeah. And I'm going to modify that. It just sort of fit my debts analysis. Really, a proper terminology, maybe a side hustle.
Okay.
Because they're going to learn, I think, in maybe less than 10 or so, that a business is different than being self-employed. A business has systems, like your real estate business.
Yes, sir.
You know, you have leads coming to you, people coming to you. In my online subscription, everything is automated. So see, those are businesses. So we use the word business development, but your side hustle.
So for the debt's purpose, business development, but for today, side hustle.
You got it, my friend. Okay, here we go. So find that passion, find that skill, find that thing that you're good at, and convert it into a business/side hustle. You may love washing cars. You may love developing websites. You may be pretty good on social media marketing. You may want to keep kids. You may do what Chef Council is doing and start cooking here. But the point is, find a side hustle, we'll call it business for the day, and treat it not like a hobby, but a business. And I have seen the average person, if they're serious about that, can take any kind of skills from walking a dog, but people make money. Imagine making another $300 to $400 a month doing something that you're good at, something that you enjoy, and that people will pay you to do it. And that's what we're seeing here, simply in business development.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. And I think that's where millennials can kind of double down on.
Yeah.
Just with the power of social media. Like, I know a lot of people that like braid hair.
Yeah.
Or do things like that. I mean, posting pics on social media and getting appointments booked. I know a lot of people in the fitness realm that they meal prep. So
Yeah,
meal
wow.
prep for other people, you know, and people pay you.
We do
meal prep for them.
You know.
So
And I think another one for millennials that really I promote them to do, you guys know technology.
yeah.
And I got a new phone, of course, it's a couple of years ago now, and you guys really helped me set it up. And imagine, boomers, I'm speaking to you, we don't know how to use our phones or even social media. Hire a millennial, let them teach you how to max your phone, how to teach you how to max social media, And I'm going to tell you, millennials, you can make some good money that way. And to the boomers, by using those things, it's going to help us make money by being more efficient in our business and our side hustles too.
Agreed, 100%. Especially if you can find a business that's doing well but doesn't have a social media presence.
God knows.
Just doing some basic social media marketing, posting for them. I mean, not nothing high tech like running ads and all that stuff, but you can easily get a few $100 a month just managing a social media page for a company.
That's it, no doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. I like the side hustle one. Again, that's one I think that we can get excited for. It leads to the sexiness.
I got you, man. So do it, millennials, do
I
it.
got you. So number 4 in the Fab Five. I like this one too. I'm starting to like it more.
Okay, look at you. You can tell he's making a lot more money than see, here's a transparent moment. See, when you're not making a whole lot of money, taxes aren't a big issue to you. When you start making 6 figures and they start growing 6 figures, then you start seeing how, okay, I'm gonna have to pay $50,000, but you guys got it down only $10,000. We get his attention.
Absolutely. Tax reduction.
But here we go. Retired CPA. But again, we do things out of the box. Most people, you overpay in taxes. So let's just say, for an example, and I'm gonna modify the wording a little bit. I'm gonna say tax refund. Let's say an average person is getting $5,000 a year in their tax refund.
Okay.
All year long, counsel, they're struggling financially and they're waiting on January 31st to come to get that money. Well, again, there are multiple things you can do to create cash flow from your taxes. Number one, you can get with your accountant or tax professional and they can go through tax projections to show you how to change your allowances, not dependents, mark that word down, allowances. Allowances or tax deductions that you have that determine what you owe in taxes. Dependents are people. So get rid of dependents. Let's talk allowances. So if I know you're my client and we project that your refund is going to be $4,800, we would simply change your allowances and possibly have nothing withheld for the first 6 or 7 months. So therefore, if you're having, let's say, $500 withheld per month, we go down to 0. You just created $500 a month of positive cash flow, or in essence, you've gotten your tax refund right now in cash flow.
That's powerful.
It really is, man, and it works. And even tax planning. If you're used to paying $20,000 a year in taxes, you've gotten comfortable with that, or even breaking even. If we come in and do tax planning and can get you from break even to getting a $2,000 refund again, and we show you how to get that monthly in your paycheck, guess what? That's more cash flow. And if we can show you, because you had the side hustle, and you spent a lot of money out going to workshops and seminars, we can even look at amending your tax return. And by amending your return for 3 years, we can go back and deductions that maybe were missed, particularly with those with side hustles. If we find deductions, you can go back, and the average person that we amend their taxes for gets between about $2,000 and $5,000 back per year. So there are multiple ways through taxes to enhance your cash flow.
Man, that's why it's so important to have a professional tax person.
Yeah, it is, man.
Not just a H&R Block, nothing against them, or done for you online, unless you know in that field. But having somebody who knows the tax laws, who knows how to find those things that we can do to reduce our tax liability is priceless. He used to joke all the time about tax season is the only time, or one of the times, you can get somebody to come in and write you a check, no questions asked.
You're right. You're right. And I'm going to pick on Cal a second. Back about 3 or 4 years ago, when he was really getting his business going, he would fly in to get his taxes done. He would, because he was getting $5,000. I mean, he was there day one. He got his W-2s taxes. Now I got to find him.
Yeah.
Now I got to find him, because those big refund days are over. Because when you start making 6 figures plus, guys, you're not going to get refunds. But the game there is you make the 6 and 7 figures, but you legally learn how to have proper entities like you've done, and you're transparent, but you don't overpay in taxes, and many times you legally break even. I have clients of mine and myself too that are making good 6 and close to 7 figures that legally aren't paying a dime in taxes. And for you millennials or boomers who want to build wealth, you're going to have to address this right now.
Yeah, it's key, man, and it's not something you can let just build up and not file. And
you cannot.
You gotta tackle this tax, man, because it could be a blessing,
yeah,
or it could be a curse, man.
It can, man. Yeah.
So best way to do it is get somebody that knows what they're doing, build a game plan, and get started.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. I agree, man.
I like taxes though.
Oh, look, okay. We found two sexy things. All right. Now, hopefully, you're gonna like this last one.
I do like it. I'm starting to like it more.
Well, what's the last one, man?
Stock investment.
All right, I was waiting on you to say it.
Yes, sir.
Let me give you an example. A lot of times, Council, when people think about stocks, they think about buying and hold.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a wealth building strategy we'll talk about down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But this is about cash flow. Let me tell you what I did just yesterday. How many Apple products do you own?
I got 3 right here.
Look at that. And then also Apple, I think Apple now is doing their own chips. They were using Intel.
Right.
They're doing their own chips, and potentially with the President Biden being there, him and China on better terms. So my whole point is Apple is a solid company. Okay. Yesterday, Council, I want you to write this word down. Selling a put. Yesterday, Apple was selling for $119 a share.
Mm-hmm.
I sold someone the right to make me buy Apple at $110. Okay? Okay. I gave them 12 months to do it, and in my account this morning is $1,300. I'll say it slowly. Selling a put is when you sell someone the right.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you sell something, what do you expect?
Money.
Okay, no matter whether I sell you a contract, sell you a laptop, sell you land, you want what? You want money.
Right.
Stock market's the same way. I sold someone the right to make me buy Apple, a great stock, at a price I wanted. Remember, it was going for $119. Oh, yesterday was the 10th or the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
So check it out. Apple closed at about $119 and some change on the 11th. I sold someone the right to make me buy Apple at $110. Gave them 1 year to do it. And when I sold them, they paid me $13 a share. I got 100 shares. So in my account this morning is $1,300 because I learned how to sell a put. And in simplest terms, it's selling someone the right to make you buy a stock that you want, Council,
mm-hmm.
at the price you want when you want it. Now, if we need to show people that on the thing, we can snapshot and give it to them, man. Whatever. Because again, and we're not talking about building wealth yet. We're talking about cash flow. $1,300 in my account right now.
Wow. You didn't have to work overtime? How long did it take you to?
It took me less than 5 minutes. And the biggest thing was deciding on Apple versus Zoom versus Amazon.
Wow.
Okay. And then I wanted to do it for a year. And lo and behold, once I found it, hit a button or two, it's a done deal.
$1,300 in your account.
That's it, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, what put you in a position to be able to do that, outside of having the knowledge?
The time.
Okay.
Because again, though I went to school to be an accountant, they taught me nothing about the stock market.
Okay.
And I knew if I wanted to build generational wealth, if I wanted to become independent of having a job, I had to learn some things like the stock market.
Okay.
And I remember, again, about the time I was probably a little younger than you were, is I took a whole summer and did nothing but self-teach myself the stock market. Back in the day, of course, it wasn't a lot of YouTube, so they had some workshops I'd go to, and I read books and talked to people, and I put it together, and I learned some basic things. I mean, there's a lot of things out there to build wealth with the stock market, and many produce cash flow now.
Okay.
But I had to life management.
Gotcha.
Life management.
Gotcha. I was hitting that cash flow.
Okay.
Could you have done that without cash flow?
No.
Got it.
No. Because what I didn't say in the whole thing is my account, see, in the event a year from the day somebody makes me buy that at 110, see that's $11,000. So I had to have enough cash flow to put 11,000 in the account.
Right.
At least have it in there by next year this time.
Right.
Or else I couldn't do it. So cash flow allowed me, one, the time freedom to learn, and then two, cash flow gave me the chunk of money that I could leverage to make that $1,300 in less than 5 minutes.
Man, that's powerful. Because cash flow on a continual basis. So if I'm saving $1,000 a month and I can get that to 1,500, I can do a simple trade like you did, maybe twice a year, and pick up an extra $2,600 without a part-time job.
No doubt about it. And there are probably 30 different strategies that people are doing to create cash flow in the market. And I probably just use about 4 of those. I just find, I don't know all 30 of them, Council, but I find the 4 that I like. Selling puts is one. Writing a covered call is another. Those 2 I've mastered. So that's what I do to create cash flow in the stock market. And other things we'll talk about on what we do to build wealth in the same stock market.
Got it. Wow. Yeah, that's probably gonna be my new favorite.
All right, I got you, man.
Yeah, I think we got one more. Or no,
that's it, man. That's it. That's it,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, debt. That's the S. Got it. So, anything you want to add to wrap it up?
In a nutshell, and I appreciate Council's wisdom to me because, again, my mindset's a little different. But for you millennials, and you boomers too, I want you to understand, find the ones here that get you pumped up and excited. If the debt thing is something that maybe you don't have any debt or your debt's too high, I get that. But at least, though, do what Council and his family did. In 1 month, with the expense reduction, they created $250. What if you decided every other month to do that?
Right.
Just every other month, $250. The business idea, side hustle. Do a side hustle, because the day's going to come when we talk about building wealth, we're going to talk about building a business. And if you already have a side hustle already beginning, we're going to show you how to convert that side hustle into a legitimate business. And the stock market. I know people love the Forex, they love the Bitcoin, all that. Again, I'm not that smart. Now, I understand enough from a tax perspective, but I have chosen right now to stay in the stock market. It's worth learning in the stock market so that you can develop cash flow. So the bottom line, of those 5 items, find the 2 or 3 that get you pumped up and max them.
Yeah, it makes sense with these 5 that you can easily do $500 a month just on managing your debt elimination and expense reduction.
Yeah.
But that the taxes, the business development. Yeah, so
I got a question for you though, real quick. Okay. Okay. No, the business development.
Okay.
You do a lot of successful real estate.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Old school work was bird dog. You still do some of that and pay people money?
Yeah.
Well, tell me if you don't mind. Okay.
So if we have some people that like find beat up houses. For us. So if it's got a tarp on it, boarded up, condemned, in bad shape, and they either text me the address like we have some people do.
Okay.
There's an app I use called Driving for Dollars. If you can take a picture of it and give me the address. If we close on that property, I give them 10% of the spread up to $1,000.
I'm a little slow. So here we go. I'm driving around. I see a house that's boarded up. I see weeds, etc., etc. I text you. I get into your system, whatever. I text you. You go check the house out.
Yep.
You buy the house, and let's say you buy it for $15,000, and let's say it's really worth $45,000. Is that realistic?
Yeah, that's very realistic.
Okay. 45 is what it's worth. You get it for 15. I'm gonna max out. You pay me $1,000 after you close.
Correct.
Again, side hustle, based on knowledge. And that's why debts are so important.
Very important, because you could take an hour or 2 every Saturday and drive around and send 10 addresses. So something's going to hit, and you do that every month. You extra $1,000 if we close 1. If we close 2, that's life changing. Some people $2 extra grand a month. So yeah, side hustle, bird dog, same concept.
I got you. Well, I got another question for you. Okay, so let's say some of you all want to do real estate. If you see that after a while, Council, I'm serious about this thing, I follow your instructions, I'm sending you good deals, would you give me a little extra time one-on-one to learn more?
As long as you're hungry.
If I'm hungry for it.
As long as you're hungry.
Yeah. And guys, there are people out there like that, man. Same thing with me. If you want to learn how to build a business in the stock market, if you show that you're hungry, we'll be there for you. Real estate, everybody wants to do this.